to my live stream. This is episode number 2 of I'll Do It Live. Anyways, that's an awkward opening. Anyways, what I'm here for is basically to chat, but also to make some fire eggs. These are my world famous in my mind at least, fire starters. I've been making them forever, but I am planning on going camping, and I need to make fire starters, and I thought it would be a good opportunity to go live, maybe chat, maybe not. And yeah, that's basically the plan. But basically, what I got going here is I have an electric skillet already heating up. So this is hot water. And yeah, so I have hot water in my electric skillet. And I have this wax here. This is natural soy wax, ideal for making soy container candles. Yeah, I picked this up on Amazon. It was $17.99. And basically, I'm going to melt some wax, put it in an egg carton. I have some cedar sawdust here. Hopefully I don't spill. And I go down here. I have a giant, it's not giant, it's a shoebox filled with dryer lint. So with all those things, I am going to make some fire starters. And I thought I almost spilled all my sawdust. With that being said, if you have any questions and you are watching this live, feel free to ask me. I'm not 100% sure. Oh, I think I do have the chat. I'm not sure if this is vertical or not, but my chat is on sideways. So I feel like I potentially have this. What's going on here? Ooh. Oh, there's my house. I'm just pushing buttons here. Coast Guard. Oh, Coast Guard. Yeah, I got my chat sideways, so I don't know if I'm looking vertical. You probably let me know, but ultimately, if I'm coming in sideways, but there's nothing you can do. That is one thing I learned about YouTube live streams is once you're in an orientation, you cannot get out of it, so we're just going to have to deal with it, and I will learn from next time. It does make this chat hard to read, but I will get through. But anyways, with that being said, I have a couple jars here. I got an empty peanut butter jar, which is going into my skillet. Oh. There you go. Going into my skillet. And I have a better than bouillon jar. And that is going into the skillet. And we're going to open up our bag of wax. And we're going to pour this stuff in here. And we're going to let it melt. Ooh. I don't know. I feel like that is quite a bit of wax. This bag is 2 pounds of wax. And like I said, it is soy wax. I do not know if there's a good wax or a bad wax. And frankly, I don't even know what wax is and how it comes off of a soy plant. Yeah, so I don't really know what other types of wax are, but I guess there's beeswax, earwax, and soy wax. I'm not really sure, but anyways, we're just going to let that melt, and we're going to talk. But I'll try to read this here. I have to get awkwardly close every time. Oh, all good. Anyways, I do have some questions that people asked me that I'm going to talk about as we let this stuff melt. Well, first things first, I guess I want to say that I am supposed to go camping. I got a boys' weekend coming up this weekend, technically Thursday. But we're going to the hot springs. So we've been to it's probably 10 years in a row. I should probably count them up. But me and my buddy, Derek, we used to go back we originally went back in the day when he had a 4Runner. This is pre me even owning a 4Runner. And we went to the hot springs, just me and him as our winter, fall. We usually go around Remembrance Day. It's Remembrance Day tomorrow. We'll talk about that, I guess. But anyway, we went at Remembrance Day. And we decided sort of to make it an annual thing. And it is kind of come and gone, different weekends every year. But we've all gone to the Slowcat Hot Springs. I shouldn't say the name. We go to the secret hot springs every year. And this year's the same. But they're calling for a ton of rain leading up to this, so I might bail on this trip, but I do want to be prepared. And these fire starters are awesome. Like I said, I make these. I made these in Scouts, and they have always lit me a fire. Some people do not use fire starters. Might have a power outage going on here. Lights are flickering. Anyways, that's live. Anyways, fire starters, they always work, and people make fun of it because you light a fire like a man, use gas, use paper, just use wood, all that stuff. But like I said, always have made these, and I've made fires in like the worst situation, and these are so cheap and easy to make, always worth having. So that's why I'm making them. I'm gonna add a little bit more wax here, as always, as the stuff melts. You got to add more wax. But I'm probably going to use about half this bag, which, again, $17.99. It's probably going to be $10 worth of wax. And then everything else is essentially free because I ate the eggs from the carton. And the dryer lint is a byproduct of me doing my laundry, so you can't factor that in the cost. And these things are totally worth it. I gave my buddy some when he did the West Coast Trail. And he was actually a person that made fun of my usage of fire starters, but then he went on the West Coast Trail and I gave him a 6-pack, and he was the only guy on the West Coast Trail when he went, and they got rain every day, and he was the only guy out there allegedly that had fire. And in my mind, that was all entirely due to my fire starters, although that might just be me being humble. He might have had a fire regardless. Anyways, that's why I make fire starters. But like I said, it's supposed to be super rainy coming up to like starting today, tomorrow, the next day, Wednesday, and we're supposed to be going Thursday. And they're calling for like 80 mils of rain, maybe even more between now and then. So I'm not sure if I'm even going to go camping because personally, it is hot by this electric skillet, by the way. I'm sweating because I'm nervous. But I'm sweating because I have a pot of boiling water in front of me. Anyways, I just don't think it's a good idea to go in that much rain. Like, there could be landslides, trees fall when the ground's saturated, and the hot springs themselves might be flooded out, so I might bail. But I have found myself, actually, I think it might have been Gord that called me out for being soft in the rain on my last video when I was in Hinton, Alberta, which is true. I have gotten soft in the rain. But I do think it is not as fun to be in the rain as it is to not be in the rain. Anyways, with all that being said, I'm going to let this wait. I'm going to let this melt. And while I'm at it, I'm going to talk about some things that people ask me questions on. Oh. Yeah, it was Gord that called me out. I want to talk first I got my man bun in, as you can tell. But I'm very seriously considering shaving my head. My hair has gotten very long, and my buddy Dustin, who is my best friend, he's been my friend since grade 3, which now that we are as old as we are, is like 30 years ago, or 28 years ago. Anyways, I posted a selfie of myself hiking. I am on a diet and trying to lose weight. No big deal. I posted a selfie, and he was like, "You look hella bald in it." And it was a funny story. Not that funny. But I had actually had to retake that photo from a separate angle. I posted it from one side and then I did the other because my hair looked so thin in the first angle. I had to do the second angle. So I was thinking myself that I looked like I was going pretty bald. And you can see I got my hair up in the man bun. This man bun is thanks for my Uncle John. But I got the widow's peaks going, and up in the front here it's like pretty thin. And I've been pretty seriously considering shaving my head. So if I randomly show up here with a shaved head, that is why. It is Dustin cyberbullying me into shaving my head. But yeah, I just thought I should talk about it. I posted about it on my Instagram, and so many people said a lot of nice things about how good I look with my long hair, and that I shouldn't shave. But I'm really pretty seriously considering doing it. The long hair is kind of a pain in the butt. I historically I've always had short hair. In fact, I shaved my head all through COVID, and even previously, I grew my hair long pre-COVID. Oh, what do we got going here? The camera is sideways. Maybe I should just flip this around and commit to it. I don't know why I didn't think of that sooner. I wanted to be sideways this whole time, but when you set up a YouTube Live, you have to select which side, if it's sideways or vertical, and then you set up the pre-live, so it was like it said I was coming on at 8, and then I had it in my mind. I had it set up totally right, but then when I opened it up, it's wrong. So it is what it is. I have no idea what I'm doing. Anyways, I have no idea what I was talking about it before. That's better. Yeah. Anyways, what is that? 11 minutes in. It's going to be all screwed up, this whole video, but ultimately, not that many people are going to watch my live. What am I talking about? My hair, shaving my head. So pre-COVID, I shaved my head. Well, during COVID, I shaved my head. But pre-COVID, I decided I would grow my hair out long because I wanted to grow my hair one time in my life long before I went bald. Because I feel like that was the first time that I started to realize my hair was like thinning. I would have been 30 years old, 28, 29, 30. And I started to feel like I was thinning. So I was like, I'm going to grow my hair long one time. And then I grew it. And then my buddy Dan, who was, I don't want to be an asshole, but Dan is a little more vain than me. At COVID, when you couldn't get haircuts, it was illegal to get haircuts, at least in BC here. He was really sweating the fact that he was going to have to shave his head because he couldn't get a haircut. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to solidarity. I'm going to shave my head, which is my longest hair I've ever had. I shaved it, and it was so, it was just nice to have a shaved head. It takes no maintenance. And having the long hair is an actual gigantic pain. Anytime you're in the wind, it's just chaos. Like, obviously, some women, almost all women, have long hair, and they have probably dealt with it their whole life. But as a man with short hair his whole life, you do not realize how much of a pain it is to have long hair. And recently, I have started, so that's the origination of the man bun, because it's so impractical. But last few weeks, I've been working out and getting exercise. As you can see, I'm getting pretty jacked. But I've been working out, and then my hair flops down on the front because it's now like this level when it comes down. And it's all sweaty because I'm a sweaty guy. I'm sweating right now. And I'm literally just talking. It flops over and gets sweat all over my glasses. And it is actually terrible. So it's a gigantic pain. And then in my peripheries, because my hair is so fluffy on the sides, I see it in my peripheral vision all the time. And I'm not used to it. And I'm like, oh, what is that? It scares the crap out of me. So I've gotten to the point where I'm pretty sure I'm going to shave my head. But there's quite a few people that want to keep it. So anyways, I don't know why I'm still talking about it. If I shave my head and randomly show up here, I am, in fact, the same person. But, what are we doing here? Man. That's hot water. What are we saying? Shave it all but the bun. I have thought about it. I'm rocking the bun today solely because my Uncle John hates the man bun. And I get it too. I used to make fun of man buns until I had a man bun, which is literally 6 months ago. I could grow my hair long enough to have a bun. Actually, there's one more thing I want to say about my hair, but 6 months ago is long enough to have a bun. So I finally changed my stance on man buns, because I thought if you had a man bun, you were kind of a douchebag. And then now that I have a man bun, I think they're actually pretty awesome. And being able to put it up in the man bun is my favorite part about the length of my hair right now. So that is a total transformation in my life. And because I was talking about going to the hot springs, and I may or may not be doing some psychedelics, I think I had to have a man bun and the long hair. But, so the long hair too. my coworker, who then ended up being my boss when his dad, my original boss, died. He was like, if you're gonna live in the van, you need to have long hair. And I was like, he's totally right. And he was growing his hair long enough, so he had up in a ponytail. Not a ponytail, that sounds very feminine, but he had it up in a little bun. But and then, anyways, he had it up in a bun, and I was like, you know what? He's right. If I am living in my van, I need to have long hair. So I kept growing it, so it was long enough. He had a head start. But now I'm at that point where it's like that long hippie, perfect for living in the van, but at the same time, kind of impractical for the van, but impractical for regular life. Anyways, like I said, it's my Uncle John. I want to shout out my Uncle John. He's almost certainly not listening, but he is my uncle who did the polar bear swim with me the last 2 years in a row, which I will probably not be doing this year. Which, if there's a good polar bear swim to do in BC, hopefully around Abbotsford, let me know, because I've been doing the Osoyoos one for 3 years in a row. That was because my parents live there and have been involved in the setup. And this year they're not, because they have been excommunicated from their little group that does their volunteering, because my dad got into a few political fights with the mayor. So I'm open on New Year's. So if there is a polar bear swim, let me know which one I should do. I know Vancouver has one, but I think up in like Summerland and Penticton they might have one. But if I do go up there, I might have to what are we doing? Something to pull me out of the hot springs with. I have definitely gotten to the point in those hot springs where I almost needed a pull out. I sat in the hot spring in an alternate world, I guess I'll say, for 13 hours one day, and I literally didn't even have to go pee because I was just so dehydrated from like the drinking and not drinking any water and the hot water. I was like so dehydrated. I literally lasted 13 hours, just like totally zonked down in a whole nother dimension. Yeah, 13 hours. I can't even imagine. I pee every hour. Cultus has one. I didn't know Cultus had one, but Cultus is pretty warm. But I think I have toyed with the idea of going to Vancouver because it's probably the biggest one. But I kind of want to. The first year I did the Osoyoos one, they had to chainsaw a hole in the ice, and it felt very authentic because it was actually like properly cold. I've also done one up in, it's probably Kelowna, Vernon. I was in Vernon with my buddy, and we went in and it was like -2 outside. There was snow on the ground, and I was like, "Oh, this water's gonna be so cold." And then you go in the water and it's like warmer than the outside air, and I think it's in Cal Lake, which is like a beautiful, wonderful, warm lake, and it wasn't even cold. It was like this. It was literally colder to be out of the water than in the water, so it wasn't like as fun. But I would, like I said, I am a free agent as far as polar bear swims go, so I am intrigued about which one I should do. What do we got here? Evening, Mr. Overalls. Okay, I'm gonna focus back on my Firestarters because this wax is cooking pretty good. So, let me get this stuff aside here. So I was originally thinking about doing one of these on Halloween, and I was going to I did carve a pumpkin that looked like a van. I carved a van into a pumpkin. And I was going to do a live stream and I answer Halloween questions, but I realized that I wasn't sure if I could do two things at one time. So this is partially a test if I can do two things at one time, and if it's worth doing a live when I do stuff. Anyways, we have an egg carton. Free run eggs, because I think that's the right thing to do. I do not know if that's actually makes it good or if it's marketing. But we got an egg carton, and we're going to take our dryer lint. I always save my dryer lint strictly for this reason. And then we're going to ball it up and just stuff it in our egg carton here. Obviously, it's not rocket science. And for the record, I try to avoid as much dog hair as possible, but it is a fact of life in this house that all these fire eggs, I call them fire eggs, by the way, obviously, they're in a egg carton. All these fire eggs are going to have dog hair in them, which is not anything, I would say is not ideal. I would rather not have dog hair. I don't know if you've ever burned hair, but it smells. And I don't think it adds to anything to the flammability of this. But I try to pick it out as much as possible. I'm going to stuff that in there. But yeah, on Halloween, I was going to carve a pumpkin and try to do this. But I definitely did not think I could talk. And then everyone only asked me. I posted on Instagram to see if anyone had any questions for me. And the only ones I got were if I have ever seen a ghost or if I believe in ghosts. Which I sort of have seen a ghost, but I don't believe in ghosts. So I didn't see a ghost. You know what I mean? I saw something when we were kids and it was like, oh, I think that was a ghost. But, like now that I'm an adult and a non-believer in ghosts, it was just some random thing. So I thought that was going to be a boring live stream of me carving a pumpkin, not being able to talk while doing it, and talking about my non-story of ghosts. So that's why I did not do a Halloween live stream. But I wouldn't mind doing more live streams. Ooh. Mostly I would like to do another live stream that I get the angle of my phone right. So I don't come on here sideways for 10 minutes and 35 seconds or whatever that was. Because I like the thought of doing lives. I have started watching more lives on YouTube. A lot of them are like reactions to videos, but I'm kind of thinking about doing lives. I'm thinking about doing a live on Christmas because I have nothing else to do on Christmas, which is not a sob story or anything like that. My parents live in a Soyuz, and my sister is a nurse, so she makes boatloads of money on Christmas. And I don't want to leave her, even though she's gone for work. I don't want to leave here to go visit my parents and have a family Christmas without her. I don't feel right doing that. So I just kind of choose to hang out here and then hang out with my sister when I can. But I was thinking about doing a live because I know a lot of people don't have family on Christmas, which I have family, but I'm just not going to see them on Christmas. But a lot of people are straight up alone on Christmas. So I am thinking about doing a live. Was that all melted? I am thinking about doing a live on Christmas. And I wouldn't mind doing a live with other people. Because it is absolutely weird to talk to nobody. Because I'm sort of talking to the chat. But not really. Because I can't read and talk. I need a better system here. But yeah, so like my next real live plan is to do one on Christmas. I call it the Island of Misfit Toys. That's sort of my thought. But I would like to do more. I do not know if these are good, bad, or indifferent. Anyways, we got our egg carton stuffed. Our wax is almost melted. And we are gonna... These are not really necessary. But I have in these sweet beer cups from BC Place. I have no idea how or why we have these. But I think my dad acquired them when we were in Scouts. Probably as a donation. But I'm going to sprinkle on this cedar because I have it. I think it kind of looks... Well, it makes them look a little bit more... ooh, that's a lot. It makes them look kind of nicer. But at the same time, it makes it a kind of a mess. Not right now. But when you have this, and like this one doesn't have as much wax as ideal, but it all comes off. So when I have these in my van, like if I throw them in a bin or if I throw them like in one of my storage containers or my cabinet, I guess I'll call it, in my van. Like after I go camping, it's like all this stuff is shaken loose and it's all over my van, and it's kind of a nightmare. But I do think it looks nicer on there. It makes it look, more flammable. What do we got here? Okay. Is this melted? That is like 99%. Ooh. 99. Oh. It's waxy on both ends. 99.9%. So I'm going to give that another 30 seconds. I'm going to refresh my list of things. My questions. When I always get the question from Freeze when my next fishing trip is. I am, I'm going to fish one day, but I really still don't have that much of an interest in fishing. I wouldn't mind ice fishing, so maybe I'll ice fish and polar bear swim the same day. I'll go through my list of questions here. Okay. This is going to be officially melted. Okay. We are officially melted. Well, someone asked me what program I edit with. I had that same question earlier on one of my videos, but I use Power Director. Ooh. This is hot. So whatever this electric skillet, however much current it draws, it heated that up. I use Cyberlink Power Director, but I am not a good editor. And I use a tablet. I don't even own a laptop. So I edit on a tablet, a Samsung. I don't even know. It's a Samsung tablet. I don't own a computer. I have not owned a computer for 10 years. And I learned how to edit on that basically because it was a free program. And then now I pay for it. I think it's like $100 a year. And I think I can edit better. But it's like by no means any sort of professional setup. Okay. This is going to be the dangerous part. As we have hot wax coming in. You got some pliers here. I have pliers. I also have my little piggy here. This is my oven. I don't own an oven mitt, but I have this silicone thing. So I'm probably just going to use pliers here. And hopefully don't spill this on my lap. This would be better if they had like a little pour spout. And we're going to go this way. Oh. See, I can't talk when I'm focused. The silence is deafening in here. When you're by yourself and you think you should be talking 100% of the time, it doesn't feel right. I'm going to burn myself here. And then obviously you're just going to want to saturate it all the way through. I think I melted way more wax than I needed. Heck yeah. Okay. And I'm going to pull that out. So if you look, you can sort of see the wax soaking through. Not really. But in an ideal world, if this is totally saturated with wax, this jar feels a little sketchier. If this thing is totally saturated with wax, then these things will be waterproof essentially, because it's just wax, cardboard. But if the cardboard is not, if it's saturated in wax, it's waterproof. So then you can have a fire in the rain without really worrying. But I think I measured these things one time before. And obviously it's not a scientific process. They're all a little bit different. Different ratios of wax, different ratios of lint and dog hair. Yeah, it's pretty saturated. But I think I'm going to leave it as is. Put that in there. But I think they burn for like, I need a little more wax. I'm indecisive. I think they burn for like 12 minutes. And if you have a fire starter that burns with a good sized flame for 12 minutes, you can kind of light anything on fire. That is my sort of strategy when it comes to fire. And I have had plenty of fires. But for the record, I am more of a lean-to guy than a TP guy. I like to put a big log, lean stuff, throw my fire starter underneath, and it'll light it. But then, yeah, you can see it's, mostly soaked through. A little soaked, a little more soaked on that side. But we're going to leave it. And I will say, once this starts to cool and solidify, I'm going to take it out of the extra layer because you don't want it to stick together because that's a pain. Although it's wax, you'll probably be able to rip it apart. That's pretty much that. So that is the end of my fire starter making of this live stream. I'm going to slide that over here. I'm going to leave it at that. But again, where is this? Does this have a break in the label? Maybe not. I have that much wax left in here. And I have that much wax left in the bag. So I'm guessing I used half the bag, which is a pound of wax, which I probably didn't quite need to use that. But like I said, it's about $10 to make a dozen of these fire starters. And obviously one fire starter equals one fire. I think it's a pretty cost-effective way. And like I say, they work. And I have been using these for 30 years. Maybe 25. I don't know when we learned it. We would have learned it in Scouts, Cub Scouts, Beavers. I was in all of them. I don't know what age, because we would have had to be old enough to operate around hot wax, which I don't know how old I would have had to be for that, but it's probably like 8, and I've been making them ever since. So, yeah, that's fire starters. That's applause. Give myself a round of applause. I feel like I didn't really earn the round of applause because I failed so miserably on the camera angle. Anyways, what other questions do I have here? I feel like I can't just end it right now. I have to ask a couple things. Oh, I had my Halloweens and my non-ghost story. So my buddy Dustin, I mentioned earlier, who's talking about my male pattern baldness forming. We saw a ghost. It was like a flash of white. He used to live in a basement suite with stairs on the side. It like came down and went around the corner. And we're like, holy crap, we saw a ghost. But it's like I said, I do not believe in ghosts. I think the concept of ghosts is maybe sort of plausible. But everyone that has ever told me a ghost story, I have never once believed it. Well, I thought I had wax on me for a second, but I think that's Hai de Guai. But I've never once believed anyone that has told me a ghost story. So that makes me not believe in ghosts. I think most people just get scared in the dark and think they see things. And like what I saw was probably like a Safeway, like a plastic shopping bag blowing in the wind, or maybe a leaf. Or honestly, it could be my long hair in my peripheral vision. But it's like, it's nothing. That's my friend Dustin. We've seen a ghost together, and now he thinks I'm going bald, and he's going to shame me into shaving my head. I got one question of what would I do for a Klondike bar, which is one thing that I do not actually think I have ever had a Klondike bar. I like to eat, and I like ice cream, but I don't think I've actually had a Klondike bar. I don't even know if they make Klondike bars. And when I think of that, what would you do for a Klondike bar? I think of Kanye West. When am I going to do influencer boxing? Hey, I would influencer box if somebody was going to pay me to influencer box. I do not box at all, and I am not aggressive at all. I think I talked about this last time. People call me Sarge because of rugby, and they call me Sergeant Slaughter, and then it just got shortened to Sergeant, or my last name is Sergeant. So it got shortened to Sarge because did not slaughter anybody on the rugby field. So I am not aggressive, and I can't even imagine punching somebody in the face. Like, it's so alien to me. I like couldn't do it. I just don't have that, like, I just couldn't do it. So, but anyways, I would do anything for money because I am flat broke right now. I just made a to-do list actually, and the number one thing on my to-do list that wasn't edit a video that I've already recorded was make money, because I need to make money. I have made, I think, so I was just on Instagram, and Abbotsford Chamber of Commerce posted the best new business award nominees. And I was like, oh, I can't believe they didn't vote me. I'm going to gross $600 this year on YouTube. So that's how much money I've made. I've probably, by the end of this year, if everything goes to according to plan, unless I become super famous over these lives, I will have made $600 in the last calendar year. Although I was on EI for some of it. But I am now very broke, and I need to make money. So if anyone knows anyone that does influencer boxing, let me know. And frankly, if anyone has any work that they need done, let me know. I will do anything. Although I'm not built for OnlyFans, so I can't do that. Wrong boxing. I do boxing. Oh, yeah. Gift wrapping before Xmas. I do not have money for Christmas gifts this year. But actually, I will say, I have this right next to me. This is my canoe seat that I broke canoeing on my second to most recent video, or third most recent video, the one at Yellowhead Lake. And I got a new seat for Christmas. So this is a spoiler alert. I have not actually received the present, but I know I picked it up myself, and I sent it up to Soyuz to give my parents so they can bring it down to me later. But I have a new seat. But this canoe seat is off the thing, and you can see obviously it's tubes, but if you look here, there's a wooden dowel on this side and on this side, and I broke it here, so it was reinforced with a wooden dowel. This canoe used to be my dad's, and he broke it because he's a heavy guy. He broke it, so then he got a new one, and he reinforced it with wood, which lasted like 10 years. And now I just broke it. So I'm getting a new heavy-duty seat. It's going to have two layers of tubing. So it's like an outside tube, and then it's got one inside. So I'm going to get a new heavy-duty canoe seat for Christmas. So that is my one gift that I know for a fact I'm getting. And I probably will not get any more gifts. But I like Christmas, as I already talked about it on this live. I've already been thinking about doing a Christmas live, and I'm thinking about doing a Christmas special. I'm thinking about taking the canoe camping and making a Christmas dinner, but like backpacker friendly kind of thing. So we'll see how that goes. But I've already been thinking about Christmas. Frankly, I've been thinking about Christmas since before Halloween. And I have, I got tagged by my cousin on Facebook in a big Christmas light display. I have been thinking about my Christmas light display for quite a while, and I'm already getting excited for Christmas. I'm almost certainly going to be on the Christmas light tour again this year. So, and I'm getting my new canoe seat, which is going to be awesome because I don't want to canoe with this sketchy seat anymore if I can avoid it. But breaking canoe seats is a family tradition. I think I'm heavier than my dad ever was. I like to believe that's muscle. Again, I've been working out. I need the vertical. But I think he's heavier than me. But he broke one back in the day. Like I said, my canoe is 14 years old. So he broke one way back in the day. And then I thought the dowel actually, when I broke this thing, I just spilled all my sawdust on the ground. When I seen it, when I broke it, I was looking at it, and I was trying to figure out if the wooden dowel was the original dowel, or if that was a custom modification. And sure enough, it was a custom modification. But it does make you realize you need to go on a diet when you break the canoe seat because you're too fat. It's like, dang, I needed a heavy duty custom made seat just to paddle my canoe. It made me, like I said, it made me realize that I need to go on a diet. And so far, I am up 0.2 pounds since I started my diet. I started working out like, I think I weighed in 3 weeks ago. I can't read my own writing from here, but I think I weighed in 3 weeks ago. I weighed 288.2 pounds. And then I worked out then 3 weeks later, after like 2 weeks of working out, but it was kind of like easing my way in gently. I don't want to overdo it. I weighed 288.4 pounds. So that's definitely not good. It's sort of going the other way. But the last time, so I've been doing some hikes from here, although I live at like basically the bottom of a hill, and I walk all the way up, and it's about 425 meters of elevation gain. And it took me an hour and 20 minutes, I think. Not the first time, but one time I did it a week ago. And then last time I did it, I was an hour and 15 minutes. So I shaved 5 minutes off my time, and I feel better, and my biceps look bigger. Oh. And actually, I bench pressed 180 pounds today to finish off my workout. I bench pressed it 3 times, again, to finish my workout. And I believe that was the most weight I have bench pressed since like 10 years ago. I was actually at one point I was in good shape 10 years ago. And I was bench pressing, and I could bench press, I don't even know, probably close to 200 pounds. I've never like maxed out because I don't have a spotter and I don't want to hurt myself. But yeah, that's the most I've bench pressed in a long time. So it's like, I actually gained weight, but I feel like I'm getting fitter already, and I am stronger, and that's ultimately what it is, or ultimately what I'm after. But I do need to weigh less, so that is one of my goals for this year. This is not a New Year's resolution episode, but that's currently what I'm doing. I am editing videos, making fire starters, and trying to get into better shape. Because one other question, probably the last question I'll answer off of my my pre-asked questions, but is what am I doing next summer? Which I believe I talked about it last time I did a live stream, but it doesn't really matter. I'll talk about it again. And I have no idea what I'm doing. I do not know if I'll have money or a job or what. But if I would like to be in better shape so I can go do some like cooler stuff. Again, I do not know exactly. The only thing I know for a fact that I'm doing is I'm going on an Alaska cruise, which is not really relevant to anything. But if I get into better shape, I feel like I could do some more like speed hikes, like take 2 days and do like a proper backpacking trip. And I can do stuff like that. And I wouldn't mind getting on the bike and doing some bike packing. And obviously I would like to do some more canoeing, but I need to be in better shape. What do we got here? Fire, do not burn finger. I plan on seeing your display this year. You better. Again, so last year on my Christmas light display, I had like 25 things in my yard, but this year I think I've added 10 things. What did I buy? I did not have any money, but I keep buying Christmas lights. I bought a full nativity scene, which is like 9 pieces. It's Mary, Joseph, 3 wise men. I think there's like a shepherd. It's a lady though, so are ladies shepherds? Is that sexist? So I got a full nativity scene. It's got like cows, sheep. Maybe the sheep's part of the shepherd. And yeah, I've added a few things, so it's going to be bigger. And I'm thinking, I don't know if I should spoil it, but I'm thinking about doing a photo op for the Christmas light display. Whatever, I don't even talk about it now. But I bought on Temu. I don't know if you know what Temu is. I bought some cutout Christmas, like face cutouts. So like the face, put your face in, take a photo. They're like material, and I'm going to I haven't figured out exactly what I'm going to do, but I'm thinking about putting them on like a wooden frame. And then you could, on the one side of my yard where I don't have as much like figurines, blow molds, I think I'm going to try to do the photo op. That's sort of the plan, but I'm not exactly sure what it's going to be. But it should be good. I wish I had money. I literally, right before I was on live here, I was killing time. And I was looking on Marketplace, and somebody's selling a huge collection of Christmas lights and blow mold specifically. And I was like, oh my God, I want to go buy it. But I didn't have enough money to go buy it. So I know also I have enough. My dad used to collect so many. I hated growing up knowing our whole garage was filled with Christmas lights, and there's no room for other stuff. So I do not want to do that again as an adult. So I cannot buy any more Christmas lights. But anyways, my Christmas light display is going to be sweet. So if you are local, you should come check it out. Again, I will be in the paper, or my house will be in the paper. So there's that. Use your face for the Jesus. Actually, I do have one funny story about the Jesus. Back in the day, oh, here we go. See, those are fully saturated now. So again, those are going to be like waterproof, essentially. So I can start a fire in all conditions now. So my new Mary and Joseph, I kind of want to show you, but I'm not going to. I'll have to do that on another live. My Mary and Joseph, it's like Mary holding Jesus is one piece, and then there's a Joseph. Back in the day, we had a Mary, we had a Joseph, and we had a Jesus sitting in the manger. And then somebody stole the Jesus, which I think is like kind of, I think it's kind of funny. It sucks that it was ours, but it's like, it is funny. If you were a 17-year-old kid or 16-year-old kid and you were drinking, or not drinking, but you were up to no good in the neighborhood, it would be absolutely hilarious to steal somebody's Jesus. And out here in Abbotsford is the Bible Belt, but somebody stole Jesus. So we replaced it with a doll. But my dad, he just put out like a naked doll. And then some neighborhood kid, I assume it was one of the girls in the neighborhood, came and wrapped Jesus in their own like baby blanket. And it was like kind of actually a touching moment. But then somebody stole the doll. So then we just had an empty manger again because Jesus was stolen and then Jesus, the doll, was stolen. So now it's all one piece. So it'll be pretty fun. But I'm not even a religious guy. So it doesn't even make sense to have a nativity scene. But now I have a nativity scene because I have a problem collecting Christmas lights. And that's just life. Let's use your face. Kind of a rough crime there. Yeah, but you know, no one's going to charge you over the theft of a baby Jesus. Actually, that's what we got my dad for Christmas 2 years ago. So we had this big our Christmas light display. Sorry. I was just thinking how this was totally hijacked by talking about Christmas again. So our Christmas light display back in the day was big, and we had it my whole life until I got older. And then somebody just came by. We dealt with some theft, but somebody came by and cut. We had like a green strand of lights that went around the whole yard, and somebody just came by and just cut the wire in a whole bunch of different places. My dad said, fuck it. And he just went, he took all our Christmas lights down. I forgot what I was talking about now. Theft, Christmas. Oh, so then my dad, he was like, fucking, I'm done. So he took all that down, and for 10 years, didn't do a Christmas light display. But in his retirement, he wiped with Soyuz and he got into it. So once he got into it again, he started doing a proper display, which he now has the best decorated house in Soyuz. Not necessarily voted on by me, but voted on by whoever votes on that stuff. The newspaper, I'll say. So he got into it, and then I was like, you know what he needs? He needs the proper Jesus. So I went on eBay, and then I paid like $150. I don't know if it's that much. It's probably less. Probably $100 plus shipping for this tiny little baby Jesus. Because you cannot find a blow mold baby Jesus on Facebook Marketplace. It is impossible. So you have to go on eBay. And that was, you know, a good Christmas present for my dad. But I feel like I don't really want to talk about Christmas. That I have so much wax all. I'm very distracted by all the wax all over this stuff now. I don't really want to talk about. Oh, Jesus loves me. I can't tell if this person was watching or if they just randomly showed up and just started mentioning Jesus. Anyways, I don't want to talk too much about Christmas because that is what I want to talk about on Christmas. But anyways, I feel like that's pretty much going to end this live. I made my fire starters. Hopefully I go camping and hopefully the rain is not too bad. But I fear that it's going to be very rainy. And oh, someone just came across the channel. Well, anyways, thanks for watching. I appreciate that, for finding my channel. Anyways, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just going to end this live. So with that being said, thanks for watching. And if you have any more questions, I will answer anything, whether they're good questions, bad questions, relevant to anything. If you want to know what I will do with a Klondike bar or for a Klondike bar, you can ask me that. Ask them on any of these things. I write them all down. I write all the questions down, and then if I do go live, I will answer them. And next time when I go live, I am going to be facing the right direction. And like I said, I would like to do more lives. I would like to get better at lives. And I would like to do lives with other people. I think it'll be more interesting if I had somebody to talk to instead of just rambling like a weirdo. So if there are people that you know that do lives, let me know. I will try to get in touch with them. I'm thinking, I know a guy that's a big Astrovan guy that I would like to do a live with. I've not spoken to him, but his name is Mike Zikopopoulos, or Mike Z. I would like to do a live with him. So anyways, if Mike's watching, which he's probably not, I will like to do a live with him. And yeah, more people too. I know a couple other people that are doing YouTube stuff, so I might be able to do lives with them. And I would like to do lives with total random strangers. And I would like to bring back the podcast. I need a podcast with other people, which is essentially just a live. But, cheers from Saskatoon. No, Saskatchewan. So actually, I see you say cheers from Saskatchewan. I've just been yesterday. This is the last thing I'm going to talk about, and then I'm actually going to leave. But I was just going through all my footage from the summer, and I started peeking at, I'm going to Saskatchewan next. My next video is going to be on Elk Island in Alberta, where I see bison, spoiler alert. And then after that, I'm going to Saskatchewan. So I was just organizing some of my footage. And man, I really enjoyed my time in Saskatchewan. So actually, that does lead me. They did ask what I was going to do next summer. I do think I am going to go back to Saskatchewan next summer. I thoroughly enjoyed my time. And looking at my footage, it was awesome. I think I have more things that I got to do there. And maybe even do some of the things I've already done. And do them better. So that is one thing that I do think I might go from Regina. So, okay, this is actually the last thing. I was in Saskatchewan, and I thought I was going to go to the Labor Day Classic in Regina, CFL, Saskatchewan Roughriders. But it just didn't work out. But I had this, I was in there, and I was trying to figure out what I was going to do, and I was a few days from Labor Day. And I was like, man, I'm going to go to Regina and see the Labor Day Classic. And that was one of the things, but then it just didn't work out. And I was actually pretty disappointed I didn't get to go. And whether it's a Labor Day Classic or not, I actually would like to get to Regina and go see a Saskatchewan Roughriders game. I have not been to a CFL game in, I don't know, probably maybe 5 years. I definitely went to a BC Lions game. Maybe 3? No, it had to be pre-COVID. Yeah, probably 5 years. I haven't been to a CFL game since. But when you're in Saskatchewan, I feel like that's what I got to do. So I think I will go to Regina, go to Saskatchewan, go to Regina. I don't want to do spoilers, but I have more canoeing that I think I need to do. And I would like to go further. But I do think I need to get back to Saskatchewan. So with all that being said, I'm actually going to end this. And like I said, if you got more questions for me, feel free to ask them. I'll write them down. I'll talk about them next time. And next time I will be horizontal. That's the plan. And yeah, until then, I will see you later. And now I will awkwardly leave because I forget how to turn these off. Anyways, have a good night. Thanks for watching. If you did, I appreciate it. Appreciate everything. So have a good night. Are you? Yes.